CDD fees and HOA communities. If you're checking out listings for new homes in Florida, you're probably seeing CDD fees mentioned somewhere in the listing description. Also probably something about HOA communities. How are these different, and should you live in a community with either of these in place? Hey everyone, I'm Elizabeth Peters with eXp Realty, and I'm a realtor here in beautiful Northeast Florida. Today I'm going to talk about homeowners associations and CDD fees and why they are even in place to begin with. One thing I know is that the mere mention of HOAs, even just the littlest hint, is a surefire way, guaranteed to get people completely fired up. It can be a very controversial topic for some. So let's go ahead and get it over with and discuss why they even exist to begin with. Let's always remember that HOAs are ultimately in place to keep the community's value up. So whether it's to create a cohesive curb appeal or to enforce safety requirements, the basis is to protect your home's equity at the end of the day. But there's often going to be problems, especially when you feel like you've purchased this property and should be able to do what you want without any limits. Understandable. How does this differ from a CDD fee? Doesn't this come out of your HOA dues? If you're coming from a state that's outside of Florida, it's likely that you've never heard of a CDD fee, because I do think this is something that's unique to Florida. CDD takes place because a developer takes a bond from the government to fund the neighborhood amenities, along with everything in the development. The primary function is to incentivize developers to take out 15 to 30-year bonds to cover the costs it takes to build a new community. And then your CDD fees, how that bond was taken out, is then paid back. The benefit is the sales price for CDD homes are usually lower because the infrastructure costs are spread out over that 15 to 20-year time frame. What do these costs pay for? Anything infrastructure related. That's including swimming pools, sidewalks, gates, landscaping, road development, community sewer. Even if a school is built down the road, this could create an increase in the CDD. If you find a home that seems like the taxes seem a bit high, it's likely because a CDD is in place, and those costs are paid every year in your taxes. In contrast, HOAs are usually made up of residents who have been elected to take place on the board. It's generally entirely voluntary, and these residents aren't paid for their time and effort. But you pay a fee, so where does that money go? Some examples of what your HOA fees pay for include: there's a gate guard in your community. Your HOA fees pay their salary. If there's a designated person to clean common areas like dog parks or community pools, your HOA fee pays their salary. Basically, all of the original infrastructure that was brought into the development, that's where the CDD fees come in. When those things need to be maintained, your HOA fees keep them operating. So these are two different entities that essentially work together in the community. Another way to look at it is that a CDD complements the responsibility of the association, and the association is in charge of maintaining and enforcing the restrictions and bylaws. Now, what do these fees cost? That varies and it gets complicated. But if you want to know about a specific neighborhood, feel free to reach out to me. The best way I can simplify it would be, if there is an HOA, but there isn't a CDD, then the HOA will likely be a little bit higher. If you have both a CDD and an HOA, then the HOA will probably be really low. If you're looking for a home that has no HOA and no CDD, there's probably not very many amenities, if any at all. And the neighbors are free to do anything and everything they would like to their homes. A lot of people don't want to live in an HOA community because the rules and regulations just aren't worth it to be micromanaged about their own property. But just remember, your home is only as worth as your neighbors around you. That's exactly what market value means. If your neighbor decides they would like to paint their house highlighter pink and put a huge shed right in the front yard, that would affect your value, and it's completely out of your hands. Although I do know a lot of communities that have very well managed HOAs that work very well. I certainly understand the appeal of the freedom to be able to do whatever you want with your own property. Of course, the only right decision is whatever the best culture fit is going to be for you and the lifestyle you want in your community. So just be sure to let your realtor know if an HOA or a CDD community will be a deal breaker for you. I hope this video answered your questions about CDD fees and HOAs. If you're looking to buy or sell a home in Northeast Florida, feel free to send me an email at elizabethtalksjacksonville@gmail.com. I'd be happy to help. You can also follow me on Facebook and Instagram, or you can find more information by checking my link tree down below. As always, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Happy house hunting.